You bought a shed in Windsor?
You made money in the housing market last year? No way.
Anything you shot on, you would have made on.
What would it cost?
That's the $1 million question. You're looking at North Bay now is at $1 million. I don't even think they hand you the keys anymore. What is it going to cost?
How much? Hi, my name's Nicholas Regina.
My name's Michael Sakuro.
And you're listening to
What Would It Cost?
Is that good? Hi, my name's Nicholas Regina, and I'm the CEO and founder of Spark Financial Group.
Hi, my name is Michael Sakuro, and I'm the president and founder of Spark Financial Group. And welcome to What Would It Cost? So talk to me. What are we going to be talking about on the show?
So everything pertaining to the housing market, from transactions to designers, to developers, to builders, to realtors, to appraisers, to lawyers, and the list goes on, right? So experts in their respected fields and everything that they do from A to Z, and then most importantly, what it would cost.
What would it cost? Exactly. Exactly. Then everybody know the $1 million question, if not now the $2 million question, with the constant increase in the ever-growing housing market. So it'll definitely be interesting, because even for ourselves, we work with a lot of these experts, and it'd be great to see what it takes behind their scene, because we know what it takes for us behind every mortgage transaction, but it'd be great to even dive deeper into what it takes for them to close out that transaction, what it's costing, what the different variations are. Most excited, especially when it comes to the home builders and the developers, to see what really it costs to build a home, because that's what a question I get a lot is, I want to build a custom home. How's the mortgage going to work? I know that part, but when it comes down to the actual cost of it, it's going to be interesting to find out for sure. Very well said. And it's every respected field has a lot of moving parts in what it is they do before they get to the finish line with their respected industry and what their part is that it plays. Exactly.
There's just a lot to go over and a lot to have these people really explain and give you a better understanding as to what happens behind closed doors when it is you're purchasing a home, or when it is you're building a home, when you're when the lot is being developed before that home is even built, what happens when you're being registered or your lender's being registered on title and doing everything to be compliant, the hard works that the realtors put forward on a day-to-day basis with everything happening behind the scenes for all of us, right?
We just want to pull back the curtain and let them show that we want it to be simple and seamless for them. We want you to let us know what you want to buy, how you want to buy it. Here's the keys, but we want to pull back the curtain and really show them what goes on in the background, because at the end of the day, you want to be understanding of what it takes. I know, at least for myself, when I was purchasing a property, I wanted to really understand the mechanics behind it, to know what's going on, just as not become the expert on it, but just understand what it takes to happen, and just have that confidence in the experts that are assisting you along the way.
No, absolutely. And also wanted to shout out Mr. Joseph Tito for helping us come out of our shell over here and putting ourselves out there, where we've refrained from doing that in the past 2 years since the brokerage has been open, and been really focusing on the transactions and building the network and building up all the foundation of what the company is now operating off of. But now it's time for us to put ourselves out there, and for us to just really, again, expose what goes on behind the curtains, and bring on these special individuals that really have a lot of passion for what it is they do, and take the spotlight and be able to go bar down on the information with our viewers and our listeners, right?
Absolutely. So, and then even for our viewers and listeners, just to know a little bit more about ourselves. So we're a full-scale brokerage. We're dealing with our big 5 institutions, our monoline lenders, our credit unions, our private lenders. So ideally, we make it for our clients that we never have to say no. There's always an option available for them to get their mortgage, to get that perfect home. We never said no. We've always had an option between, we always try to go for the best and cheapest rate and products for the client to start off.
We haven't said no.
Well, no, I have, but I want to talk the details wise. If I know they can't afford it, I tell them, hey,
the no is avoided though, and it's more so let's build out a game plan for you that's gonna allow you to break into the market. If there was no way that they could have qualified because of lack of down payment, or the credit score was just something that no institution will look at, or their debt service ratio was way far away from fitting within the box, it was still not a no. It was, let's set you up with the roadmap and the to-do and that timeline that, you know, they need to get through in order for them to be able to break into the market. So we've never said no.
Right, and I think that has a lot to do with our team and our background with what we have with our financial advising, financial consulting from these big five. So we're not just telling the clients, hey, it's black and white, you can't get the mortgage and that's it. We're assisting them, okay, you got to build your credit up. Here's the best credit card product to help you build that credit up. Okay, let's look at do like a soft credit counseling. You know, we'll pull their credit score or have them pull it for us and say, okay, this is what's affecting you. You know, high utilization on this, because a lot of the times you get that where they're like, well, I paid off all my debts. Why is my credit so low? And that's the main factor, which is going to separate you between you know, the three products most of the time. So yeah, to go to your point, yeah, we never had to say no because we've always provided that consulting, that financial advising, if you want to call it that, as to, you know, how we get to the next step of the process.
We like to call it the white glove service.
Exactly, the white glove service.
Yeah. Comes from our hospitality background and essentially just being able to never say no and always provide education, provide knowledge, provide guidance, and provide that sense of security to know, you know, to have these people know that they have us in the pocket when it comes to not only their financing, but anything in regards to the whole housing market ecosystem, and that we are a one-stop shop in a sense where if you don't have a realtor you're already working with, that's something that we can refer to you. If you don't have a lawyer in which has your trust and that you've never done a transaction with before, we have a great one. If you don't have anything that you need on the list to really get you to the finish line, we can refer you to the experts that we work on a day-to-day basis and are very confident that they'd be able to do right by our clients as much as we'd be able to do.
Because we want to ease their mind too. This is the biggest transaction, you know, majority of the population ever makes in their life. You're not buying anything else that is of this magnitude, except especially nowadays, you know, you're looking at your 1.5 to 2 million just for a detached home. So it's definitely a stressful endeavor for the client, and that's why we're big on the white glove service. We want to just make it as easy as you're buying a car or, you know, you're going to grocery shopping. We operate out of Ontario, servicing all our clients, whether the southern point of Ontario to the northern point, but we also could service our clients across Canada, whether it be in the territories or across the 10 provinces. And we'll be opening up Spark America soon. We'll be predominantly based, our home base will be in Florida, but again, we'll be able to service our clients across America.
I think it's to do with what's happened in the past 2 years and people losing trust in their government. I think it's to do political. What's that?
Should we go too political? Or just talk? Okay, sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
We're not stating that this is our opinion in regards to what we trust our government or we don't trust our government, but we understand that the government has lost a lot of people's faith in the past 2 years, and that's just a fact.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because of the bordello that's going on out there. So, you know, I think to answer the question as to why a lot of people are flocking to Florida, right now, to be exact, it's 32,000 snowbirds annually, and that number continues to rise ongoing. And that's not including people that are there for part-time work. That's not including people that frequent vacation there. That's not including a lot of things. That's just including, you know, the snowbirds. But with that being said, I think there's a combination of reasons as to why people are heading down south there to Florida. And one is because they've lost faith in their government through what's happened this past few years and just don't feel too good about what the future holds, about this city, about this province, about this country on an overall. Number two, palm trees and the beach.
Absolutely, the sunshine. I even need some color.
Not too long of a flight, down south. And then number three, man, the economy's booming down there, right? There's the density. You have the density on your side.
Well, I think what's been bigger than ever before is this whole Airbnb and property management, and the yield is just insane there because you could get that yield all year round. Whereas here, you might have the perfect property that's in your Blue Mountain, Collingwood region, but you know it's going to be great for the winter, but maybe not so much for the summer. Or you have your beach house here in a Muskoka or Wasaga, or your cottage, where again you can make that yield in the summer, but not so much in the winter. And I think that's what's great about Florida specifically is you have that all year round. It gets down to like a 15-20 degrees in the winter time, but still more bearable than the minus 20 we face over here sometimes in the piles of snow. So I think, you know, that's a huge factor, is having that additional investment opportunity. The affordability is still really there, and there's a great yield you can make, whether it be you're renting it yourself, renting it for Airbnb, because you have that option that, you know, when you're away, you're making that rental income, or that rental income, or you're blocking that time off for when you want to go down and have the family down there.
Yeah, it's become more and more mainstream and more understood by retail investors that you could treat an investment like a timeshare, where you're down there, you're enjoying it yourself, but when you're not there, you could rent it out, maximize the potential of the yield. The cap rates are way higher than what they are over here. And lifestyle and investment combined, it's just the perfect recipe for someone to want to move down there, right? But yeah,
that's what I'm excited for. It's because a lot of people think it's challenging. They think, buying outside of another country, how am I going to transfer the funds, conversion rate, all that. So I'm happy that we're working on that and have worked towards that to make it again seamless, just like they're buying right down the street from where they are right now to buying across country or across continent. It makes it a lot easier. It's still a smooth transaction for them.
Yeah. No, what was really exciting about the project on an overall was, other than the actual transaction on the financing end and being able to provide them the money to, bridge their finances to get into the property, it's the whole consulting aspect of it, right? What does it take to move down to the United States of America, Florida to be specific? How are we going to set up a corporation there for you? What is it, in regards to the process when it comes to getting your green card? What's
the immigration law, taxes, all that. Again, the same white glove service we're trying to provide here. What would it cost Canadian, and what would it cost American? What's going to take for me to move down there? Because again, it's a huge transaction for them, and it's that ease of mind that this is cross-border, different currency. So, it's I'm happy to provide again that financial advising, financial consulting. In another country. I don't think there's such thing as a bubble anymore. I think that's like an old school terminology. And
bubble is for the boomers.
Exactly. Well, the inventory is not out there. You put a house out, and people flock like crazy. There's 60 offers on properties in the GTA. You go as high as North Bay. 30 offers on a property there, and I think it's going to continue to grow. I was reading the other day, there's 1.5 million immigrants within the next 3 years. Between the end of 2024 to 2025, there'll be 1.5 million immigrants coming into Canada, and to service our population, we need about 1.8 million homes in the next 10 years. So I think we've gone over that hump of that boomer bubble, and it's going to still keep. It's going to still keep growing. It's still definitely worth it to invest, because I know some people are like, let me wait. They've been waiting from 2020. They're waiting for 2021, and now 2022. It's increased in value. Whatever you would have purchased in 2020, it would have been a no-brainer to sell in 2022. So I think it's not so much the waiting game anymore for when to jump in. It's to jump into enjoying the ride as it's on the climb.
And I like to look at it from an optimistic perspective.
Absolutely.
And understand that it's going to continue to rise. If you look at the last 100-year graph and what's happened on a sliding scale, with a flat line, it showed that increase, it showed that upside. It's also showed its dips, and there's been times where the economy has been much weaker than it has been stronger, and that's where those dips come in. But then it's picked itself back up, and it's continued to head in that upward, position. Obviously, being in the industry, we have to be promoters of the market. Absolutely. We have to instill faith in these people that, don't worry, you're going to see the upside. You're going to be able to really benefit and prosper from, acquiring not only your primary residence, but, adding to your assets through real estate. Just to go off of some simple numbers alone, I think supply and demand does have a massive play in all this. And of those numbers, 70% of them are, they find themselves in Ontario, and then out of that pie, 80%, find themselves in Toronto. So it's everyone in the city right now is gaining from the rising tide, one in together. There's obviously, some areas that heat up more than others and whatnot that are finally catching up to what their real value is.
Right.
But it's an exciting market to be in, and the timing is excellent.
Absolutely. And I think it's always been, your best investment in your grand scheme of things. You're looking at stocks, mutual funds, real estate. It's never lost. Like you said, there's those dips, but it's always going to be constantly on the growth. People are always going to need a place to live.
Yeah.
Some of those companies that people invest in, they might come and go, but real estate's always there to stay.
Yeah.
Whether you're an investor for renting or using it for your personal use.
Absolutely. And like anything else, don't overextend yourself. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be, super, super stressed out and spread thin and unsure of, where you're going to be able to find finance for your lifestyle. God forbid anything were to happen in regards to your health or family or whatnot. But always have an action plan in place and be, contributing to a savings account or something that's going to really, help you get into the market as soon as possible, because no one can predict what's going to happen tomorrow. Right. But like we said a little earlier, look at that 100-year graph and understand that the trend has been upwards on an overall, and it has showed that consistency this far. So what time is a good time to get into the market? As soon as you can.
Exactly. And that's why, and we're here to always help with that financial consulting. So whenever anybody needs us, we're always here to help, and we're always here to talk about what would it cost. So I'm excited to get to our next episode and our next guest and discuss a little bit about home building.
Thank you very much for your time, guys. We really appreciate you tuning in here, whether you're watching us, whether you're listening to us. It means the world to us, and we can't wait to introduce our guests to you and for you to hear more about anything to do with the housing market and what would it cost. So thank you.
Be sure to check us out on all your favorite streaming platforms, and if you're more of a visual type person, check us out on YouTube. We'll be posting there as well at Spark Financial Group. So be sure to subscribe and check us out every week, as we'll be hosting a different special guest to discuss what would it cost.
Next on What Would It Cost?
They're not out for the best interest of people sometimes, and they're out for their pocket, right?
There's a stigma on private lending.
So I'll never recommend a deal to my investor if I would invest my own money into it. We got to make sure there's an exit strategy. If there's not an exit strategy, I'm not interested in the deal.